Apologise for that, I did get cut off there. It's a continuation. I am walking up here, and this is the new build of the gym. Well, I'll say new build, it's been here for about I believe 2 years on and off. Not very good with dates, so people can range me on that. The gym is extremely popular. Yet again, is it affordable for people these days? I'm not too sure. Things are becoming so expensive and everybody's getting squeezed for everything, unfortunately. Right, as we come up to the green, here and have a look at car parking. And bearing no argument here, I look here and I look at this section which is close to the car park, to the gym, and you can see that it's quite busy at the top end. Middle section not too bad, bottom section quite bare. We just must remember the time of day as well. So the car parking today is quite lively. Pharmacy shop, been here for a number of years. Newts, you've got the gifts on the green. I understand that this shop is new, so I would try to get you there. The old laundry shop has still been going. I call it the old laundry shop. Do bear with me. Car park charges, they vary on here. Now we're on the green a bit, they do vary a little bit in price. Yet again, the top line really irritates me. 60p for 2 hours, up to 4 hours, £1. Well, I would say if you're going downtown, obviously you would go for the third one for 4 hours for £1. A 24-hour charge is even more reasonable, really. Would you spend 24 hours in Haverfordwest? Well, if you were staying overnight. £7.50 weekly. Right, social engagement. We're going across here now. The new gymnasium, the new gym seems to draw people in. Go across here. We got hair, beauty and nails, sunbeds, Yum Yums has been here for quite a while. Just trying to cross the road, so bear with me. Sorry I got cut off there. Social engagement, here we got Elizabeth Ann's beauty salon, another beauty. So we've got two hair and beauties in the same street. Obviously it must be restricted to hours, I would think. Footfall, getting your business. Let's just go and have a look at their time slots. And she's closed on a Sunday and Monday, but seems to quite have a short day on there. Yeah, it's quite a lot with businesses these days. They seem to shorten their hours, just try to adapt to spirals, florists. So I'm going to go around here now. I love the old brickwork and all this type of thing. Really, I just love this. This is part of the town I love. The brickwork here, all this wonderful brickwork, and the stones. It's just bear with me because, you know, I am narrating here, I'm blabbering, so you must bear with my choice of sonatos here. Having a look across the road here, there's quite a lot of properties for sale. We're looking around the back here. Used to be a pub here, I remember years ago. That's obviously gone. Some housing, olive branch. I don't actually know what that is. Oh, that is some kind of holy right away off. Obviously that's something to do with. And look at the sign here. General Sir Thomas Picton, 1958 to 1815, born here, 20th of August of 1758. Wow, there's a bit of history. The wonderful Patch, who are doing a marvellous job to try to people in need, and that's accelerated, unfortunately, due to costs and the rising prices. And probably everybody's noticed in the last 3 months we've had a little bit of a price surge thanks to the old government, and it's a bit like decimalisation. You just had a huge jump on everything. I don't know whether just from the basics to toys to anything really, it's just gone up so much. Right, as we walk down here now, the Devlin Guest House, that's still going, my goodness me. Now that's looking back over the years. I've been here since the age of 10. I can always remember the Devlin. Good gracious, that's 40 odd years, and that's maybe going back even further than that. Walking along here, at the back here down to Market Street, Kelvin Guest House. Lots of flats here. Property maintenance not too bad, some of them are quite good, in good conditions. I've got another hair and salon, good gracious me. It's quite surprising how many hair places there are. There's 3 now we've spotted in 2 sides of the street. So we're going across here, we've got Stitchwich, we've got the laundry shop. They've been going quite a while. Stitchwich shops. Now then, the Pembroke Yeoman. Anybody know the Pembroke Yeoman? Was run by Nigel. As far as I understand, he's left. That's taken over. So the Yeoman's still going under new ownership. And this used to be an old video shop, and then this is getting me back a few years. This used to be an old video shop time when the old videos used to be wonderful, right? And then that used to be really good. Then now we got over here, we got the Palace Cinema. The Palace Cinema, well. Now that's going back in history, steeping back in history, the Palace Cinema. It's extremely old. And it's still going. Well. Palace, eh? Marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. Bear with me if I'm missing anything out. Obviously we've got Goat Street down there. We've got a few charity shops. I think we've got a sports shop, got the Conservative office up there, and then we've got an alleyway going down to the church. Daniel Val, I think that's... not too sure whether he still does that. Beginners violin lessons, well, that's a new one to me. A shop to let. Well, here we go then. Having a look at the portrait shop and Daniel Valla, then obviously is shut, and that shop is out to let. Going across the road, that looks like that's been restructured, rebuilt. That's a bit of work going on there. I think that used to be an old solicitor's at one time, if I remember. I am using my brain here. I'm trying to think of these. Oh, another salon. That's about 4. It's quite unbelievable. Acupuncture clinic, somatics. Well, that's new to me. Closed. Well, going to, obviously, this used to be where the old market hall used to be, and then you had the old market hall, you had the gold room. All this used to be the old market hall. They knocked it down and they built housing. So it was Market Street, Market Hall. That was where it used to be. This is reopened. Well. It is reopened. This lovely shop used to be a jazz shop, but it's reopened in something else by the looks of it. I'm not sure what it's called, but looks like quite a lot of Welsh stuff here, and Wales memorabilia, and interesting, very interesting. So that looks like that's developing into a shop. And then we've got the George's. The George's been running for some time now. The George's pub, probably struggling with footfall as we all are these days. A very good pub, and it obviously diversifies into jewellery, and there's all sorts of things that go on in there. So it's an extremely nice pub. It's very clean, lovely food, and I would recommend it. Got lovely lighting there. You can see it deals with all sorts of trinkets and stuff, and so obviously if you were a tourist you'd come along and you get a little bit of a trinket or something you could take away with you, a nice little memory. Market Street. So I'm looking at Market Street, I'm looking down from it. Quite quiet, extremely quiet. This shop, there's a building there up to let, I'm not sure if there's a shop here. We have a shop here, a Premier Express. We've got a paint shop here. Used to be an old delicatessens here, that's closed. And unfortunately the pop-up shop open Fridays. Oh dear. So that's only open on a Friday. We come here to Lawrence Linion's. And that's obviously dealing in kitchens, bedrooms and home office. I would think that's probably a lot of it online on that. Shop to let. So we've got another one here that's completely empty. Framing shop is another framing shop. I've got Save and Easy credit union shop here. The bed shop, that's been there quite a long time. Obviously looked like a late start. You're not going to get the people in, I can't go right. And then we go across here and I've got another empty shop. Extremely empty. Now then, Old Commerce House. Now I could really bang about going on what I feel about this. I'm not against an adverse against Commerce House, just to show you. Commerce House, I'm not against banging on about why they did this. Yet on the other hand, just bear with me, sorry. On the left hand side here we got W.R. Roach James. Excellent butcher, has been running for years, and I think the son took over and it's still running. Come on, support our local businesses, guys. Wonderful little shop here, brilliant to see. Struggling with footfall. Obviously we got Commerce House here. A huge building. A little bit of cracking there, I'm going to be very careful with that. It looks quite an old building. Lots of flats in there, I understand. Now then, go next door and that's another empty shop. That's completely empty. And then I would, in the olden days, walk down here, walk down some steps, and obviously go to where the crypt is. The crypt has been covered. It's been covered by this. It's been covered by shops, it's been covered by a building. So you've got the old crypt underneath here, which is a huge piece of history. I'll point you across here and we're going to St. Mary's Church, which is a wonderful church. Absolutely stunning. This shop, this used to be an old Indian shop and it's obviously been taken over by Let For You. We did have the old crypt underneath here. This is going back absolutely years and years and years and years and years. And you can't access it. You can access it through the shop. The old crypt is here. There's the old crypt is stuck under there. All covered. Most of these shop, this shop outlet, I don't think I've all the time. I'm going to go across the road. All the time I've been here has never been opened. So that's completely covered. There were steps coming down here. You could walk down those steps. You could get into the crypt, but that's been completely covered. The whole building here, probably I would say probably the top flats. The top flats are. Excuse the language there, the gentleman's swearing and shouting, which is not the greatest thing on the thing. Not the type of thing I'm engaged in. There was steps going down there, you had the crypt at the bottom. Why on earth was that built over? Why was it covered? It's an atrocity to this town, and it's an absolute tragedy, because where I'm looking here, and where I'm seeing, we've missed something here that was a jewel in the town. We could have had tourists going in here, we could have used it as a souvenir shop. You know, it was ideal to do something with it. It's been completely covered. So part of history has been decimated by this nonsense. And I will tell you, I'm looking at those flats and I probably think that the top tier of that flat is occupied, the rest is completely empty. And in all the time I've lived here, and this has been built, I don't think any of these buildings have struggled to be occupied. So why on earth was this built? So, right, that's my little rant over. So we're going to come up here and going to engage into the top here. There's a lot of work going on the church. Beautiful church. St. Mary's Church, beautiful. The reason I'm coming to the top here is I just want to show you Mr. Wong's here. Probably could do with a little bit of a clean up there on the outside signs. I hope that gets to them. Just look a little bit grubby. These buildings here, that's a row of flats there. I understand that that was a lottery grant that was done there. That's an empty building, but we've got a barber shop in there. Not too sure about the buildings above. Development company, the old registry office. The old registry office, well, it's occupied. That's the good thing. At one time I did think they were actually going to tear it down. Everybody did say that that was going to be demolished, but it hasn't been. Bear with me. You know, if I'm not coming across very good, I do apologise. I am trying to walk and do this at the same time. The old library. Now, the understanding is The reason they didn't further carry on with that, there was an asbestos issue that would cost in excess of £2 million. So we went along with the brand new library. I'm all for the brand new library, and I'll tell you the reason why. It served the purpose for me and my 3 children. My children love it. It's a good little play area for my 2-year-old. So my personal point of view, it hasn't failed me at all. We have huge parking here. Was one time, and I will tell you, Asda were interested in this site. I remember that. An Asda shopping centre. I will say, for the increased footfall and the increased housing in this area, I don't know what's going to be put here, but eventually I would assume that's going to be absolutely taken down. What's going to go in its place, I'm not too sure. There's a training centre round there, round the corner. We have Mr. Corby and his antique shop over there. Nice to see that he's keeping it going. He's been messed about a bit since all the builds and everything. So John Corby there, and then you've got the Orchard Thai massage. I could go up to that area at the top there, but I'm going to go downtown. And the reason I'm going downtown, because this is what the purpose of this is. Let's have a look at some of the war history things. These are all gated. People used to get married before, and they used to stand over here, and this used to be a marriage vocal point. You've got the Butter and Fish Market. Well. Town Council's Civic Society. Well, obviously this must have been a butter and fish market many years ago. Wonderful little signature there and a sign that you can have a look and a read. We'll gauge out of that now. And we shall go down here, down the side of the church. Beautiful church, love it. Absolutely spade in history. Absolutely superb building, and I think it needs quite a lot of work as well. So let's get the funds, let's get a lottery grant for it, let's get it up to its... There's been a lot of work on outside there, but I know inside, because my daughter goes to a drama class in there, it does need a little bit of funding, so I would be adverse for that. Let's keep our churches. There's some beautiful ones about. Right, now then, there's a bit of history for you. This used to be a school, can you believe it? Now then, the bottom here, just by as you come up to this hill, by the side of the church, I shall show you the church, this used to be a school, and it was Tasker's School. Tasker's, do you remember that name? Because we have got a Tasker's. It's actually currently flats. And Tasker's School, and Bained in history. And that used to be an all-girls school, if my memory serves back when I look back through the history pages. I'm going to point out another little sign by the church, which is Haverfordwest Borough Police Station. And the first borough police station stood in front of this wall. It was accommodated in the dwelling house rented in 1836 by the Mayor and Common Council. The building was demolished towards the end of the 19th century. That's what it says on that sign. And I am looking across here, and I'm having a look at the assembly rooms. Well. The assembly rooms, built in the early 18th century, local centre for many social events, leased to St Mary's in 1925. It was used extensively as a church, hall and meeting place until the 1950s. By the 1970s, the building has become unsafe and remained so until its conversion into flats in 1997. There we are. Isn't it wonderful to have these plaques, and at least you can get a bit of social history. I love that, because at the end of the day it's engaging you about actually what's happening. Right, not too sure about this building yet. I think it's occupied by somebody. There's no parking there. The old bingo hall. Going back, I'm not sure actually what was used before that. I think it was some kind of events hall. Looking up here, looking at the history of it, 1888. The old bingo hall. That's opposite the church. And I will tell you, look at those beautiful lights. Oh, look at them. Look at those beautiful lights. That's absolutely beautiful. And I will tell you, it's empty. It's empty. look at the history here. Look at the beauty of that building. Look at the doors. Look at the windows. Look, oh, it's empty. Oh, it just... Pure West Radio. Yeah, this is where Pure West Radio is stationed in Haverfordwest. And we've got the old council chamber. And we look into that. The old council chamber. Originally the site of the coach and horses in the President's Building, dating from the 1871 and designed by the K.W. Ladd, was used by the former Borough Council until 1974. Beautiful. Lovely to see. Memorial stone. Now then, let's get back into social engagement and buildings. This area is not too bad. As you can see, you've got Haver Hub there. I don't understand. The Haver Hub is usually... that's usually to do with the base down in the old post office, which has been done into a community centre. I look here and I'm looking down here and I'm deriving from Molly Green's Tattoos and Piercing. This was developed by the lottery funding. I know that Shane Owens and builders and council, and there was a big project went on here and that was all derived, and they've done a good job. Done a good job here of just tidying it up, making it look more accessible. The old Swale shop, if I'm correct, the old musical Swale shop used to be here, which was wonderful. Come down here now, we're looking at some of the bigger buildings. And we have a look at another one here. Yes, and I can remember because I posted this. The old post office. Well, well, well. I wonder if it's possible. Is it possible I could go past it? Thank you. Used to be a post office, isn't it? Yeah, good gracious me. Yeah, I posted a really old picture of it in the 1900s or when it was.
Yeah, when the road was two-way.
It was two-way, yeah. I think it was a lot better functioning that way, really.
Yeah, some of the idiots.
Yeah. Built in the 1880, this was the town's main post office until 1936, when the mail and counter services moved to Key Street. The telephone and engineering sections were relocated to Perrott's Road in 1961. Right, as we look over here now, we've got Pekin House. That's been here quite a while. Now, as I'm going on about that build that covered the crypt, I won't even go there because I've mentioned what I think of that. We've got another Barber's here. We've got builds here, and I do know for quite a while that's had scaffolding on there for quite some time. I don't know how long. That shop has been boarded up for God knows how long. And you're having a look here, and we've got another boarded shop. This is the top of the town. Why would anybody want to walk up and have a look at this? So that's what we need to really look at and really need to work on. Now, if we have a look here, this is Haverfordwest Townscape Heritage Initiative, and this is what this building is done. This has been done several times in the past. This is a national lottery funding, so that's a good thing. Go across here. Go across the road. This is quite, obviously there's a lot of work going on here. Evans and Roach, the nail bar, that's up for tender again because that's obviously shut. We've got, it does look like this hasn't survived, and I thought it would struggle with location. Unfortunately, it looks like that's shut as well, which is Unpretentious Cafe. What a shame. It really does beg a belief sometimes. Go across to the NatWest. It's my understanding that's going to eventually shut as well. They're looking at that. So just to be wary that the NatWest in Haverfordwest is under threat, and I understand that's going to happen. Eaton Evans and Morris still there. Looking down there used to be the old Charlie's bar, but looking down there isn't that much really. All this is cordoned off because of building. We go into the NatWest, and obviously I would say that's a bone of contention. Looking here, kitchen unit place. We've done a lot on this building as well. There's been a lot of work and a lot of restructure of these flats. Let's Move Properties has been there for a while. We just jump across here. And more creative, innovative, educating shop. Paint your own pottery. The Coffee Cave. Please go to the Coffee Cave. It's an absolutely wonderful coffee shop. The Amore Nails and beauty, professional nail care in American style. Well, 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 there we are. Dylan's didn't last long. That was a restaurant that closed. And that's going along here. We've got some building work going on here. The Creative Cafe. Creative Cafe, vintage and antique and silver spoon rings. There we are, look at this. I mean, you know, you need to go into some of these shops. They're absolutely wonderful. I would encourage you to go and look into these really craft shops. They're just wonderful. They're just wonderful what's in them. This is a very, very good cafe as well. Struggling with Footfall, and I would encourage you to get in there. Go to the Coffee Cave. It's a lovely little cafe. Please go in. And across there, we've got this Bonkers. Do you know, in all the years I've been here, that shop is still going. It's amazing. And it's still going strong. Looking here, we've got Griffiths the Builders working on here. There's a lot of work going on. Scaffolding are up, and they're doing a lot of work here. Coast and Country Estates. I'm coming on, I'm walking downtown, I'm trying to see Dots to Tots. Andrew Price. So yes, we're starting to see shops on the high street again. VC Gallery. Barry John does a fantastic job here. Absolutely amazing man. Please pop in and go and see him. He's a lovely guy, and what he does is just wonderful. Barclays, Bernardo's, coming here, Roberto's Pizza, a closed shop. Bernardo's shop here, Pavs. How can I put it? It isn't enlightening, is it? There's some shops that are very good, and then you're getting hit by things. Now, I'm going to say this, right? If I was to buy any jewellery, this is the place to go. Months. Look at the history here. Every picture of Haverfordwest, and you go back over the centuries. And months. Established in 1796, Bisley H. Month. Absolutely wonderful. They did have an issue with the clock. They've had it repaired. And it's just wonderful. The clock is part of its history. There's a 20% off sale here. I would encourage you. Keep this shop open. It's just part of Haverfordwest's history. It's wonderful. Right. So we've got an alleyway that leads up to the castle. Go across here, we've got Oxfam. And then we've got Jack the Trim Bar. Oh, it looks like we've got another barber's opening. My goodness me. What is it? The year of the hair, is it? And then there's an empty shop over there. That was a lovely little trinket shop, and that's closed. Well, how unfortunate. Nicholas Insurance has always been there. Betfred, it'll hold its own. Then we come to what I call the centerpiece of the town, and I'm going to tell you, it really galls me. It's closed. The Shire Hall. Now then, bone of contention here. Should have Witherspoons ever had this? I'm not sure where Witherspoons is now at the moment was the right location. What would it be good for now? Well, a lot of people keep saying the market. Yet on the other hand, they purchased Ocky Whites. So I look at this and I think to myself, do you know what I love about this building? If you actually look inside, and I did post pictures of it, it's wonderful, and I think that it would make a lovely entertainment place, something like a comedy room, a theatre. You know, I think Haverfordwest is crying out for a little bit of entertainment. So a good, nice place for people to sing. We've got wonderful singers. Local singers are amazing. I can name a few. Lucy Jones, Rosie Cale, you know, we've got wonderful singers here. The Shire Hall. It was the architect of William Owen, built in 1835 to the design of local architect William Owen. It is regarded as one of the town's most impressive buildings, as well as being the chief centre of the administration of justice of the county. It was also the meeting place of the former Pembrokeshire County Council. Well, well, well. And then we've got the castle, and you come down to the main square. Now I have to zoom out, unfortunately. Shaw's, Subway, Matthews, the Three Crowns. It's not for me to say what I think should be the centre of the town. These are local businesses. They're striving hard to survive in a very, very volatile market with Brexit. And I'm sure we're all sick to death of that word, as I am. Let's have a look at the centre. We've got pizza time. We've got the Blackened Barrel. Well, it looks like Sabora's gone then. Well, the Mexican place has changed name. We've got Poundland, we've got the Castle. Castle always seems to stay to save the time there. Mr. Chippy, the chip shop is closed. They closed that for some reason. Not making money, I would assume. Looking along, you've got Matthews. Looking along this street and into the main town, it's not too bad. There are a few shops closed. Let's have a look here. Augustus John O'Mrald, 1878 to 1961. Artist lived here from 1878 to 1884. So you must read these plaques, they're just history in themselves. Wonderful to see. Got the old Barclays Bank, Lloyd's Bank, Subways. You've got shops that are closed here, unfortunately. Next to the Nationwide is closed. Walking along here, having a look up here. We've got Gwyn John, artist born here 22nd of June 1876, died 1st of September 1981. Augustus John, artist, lived here 1878 to 1884, that's the same plaque I just done there. Died in the 31st of October 1961. Look him up. Gwyn John. Have a look. Let's see if she or he, if I pronounced it right, had good artist skills. They must have done, surely. Going along this, we've got Studio 8, another salon. I'm going to concentrate now on the bane of the town. This is the bane of the town, unfortunately. Constructed, I don't know the year, somebody can tell me that. £19 million. £19 million. Now I know recently they've had a redundancy issue and people have been made redundant. What I'm asking the question here is, cost-wise, what does it cost to run this per year? How many people actually work in the building? And how many people work at home? Because what I would say to you, we've got one of the best and most beautiful rivers going here, the River Cleddau. It runs through here. Now, I'm not being funny. People don't get this in some towns. They're very lucky to get that. But when I go to some places and they've got rivers, they've got beautiful restaurants, they've got beautiful little eateries, they've got beautiful places you can walk. What have we got? We've got a £19 million council building. I know there's people employed there. I know it's a bane of issue. But at the end of the day, if you're going to downsize things and you're going to look at people's costs, and the government currently are looking at astronomical cuts, and it's ongoing, whether you say austerity is gone, because it hasn't, and it's still hitting people hard, why on earth are we doing this? Why on earth did we build it here in the first place? Because you look at that building at the top here, which is, and I can just go in there, the new registry office. But I don't know how many millions was cost on there to redo all that. Why wasn't the council put up there? So it's a huge one, but it's there, and how long it's going to be there for when Brexit passes, and then we're looking to look at even more cuts if Brexit does pass, unfortunately. What's going to go in its place? I go on about Footfall. Footfall has been hit by online shopping, it's been hit by technology, and it's been hit by a prime example is the Sunday market. People would actually get up in the morning to go to the Sunday market. How many people actually get up now on a Sunday? We need to really look about what we're doing and what we're doing to society and how we're affecting people, because my perception here is that we're trying to get people back to exercise, get back into things and all, but we're making it extremely difficult in their pocket for people to actually do that kind of thing. And if you're going to restrict and you're going to charge people astronomical prices, how are we going to do that? We've got to engage. We've got a beautiful, beautiful town here, and it is a wonderful town. Right, I'm going to go around the back here, and I'm going to go down here. And the reason I'm going down here is This used to be, I think it's shut, closed. Go past here and we got Eddie's nightclub. Mark obviously has got a lot of backing. He's run a successful business and he's run many businesses. I'm not gonna say anything what I want to say about the situation, about what people think about him. For all my experience, he's been fair to me and he's been fair to quite a lot of people, but I'm not going to get into the debate on whether that should be there or whether that should be. Hotchpotch, unfortunately, closed. The problem is you've got Fabric and Craft and all that time, but I do know there is one in Market Street which might have hit it. We're going past the river, going down here, and we're going to go to the Priory because I want to show you another piece of history, and then we're going to lead up to my final destination, just to get you to realise what Footfall is how it's affecting, what is affecting. Extremely important building is the services, because it's held the community together. A lot of people still go there, locals go there. Services club, still going strong. The Conservative club, still going strong. Coming out here now through the alleyway to the old post office. Now, fantastic news on the old post office, and I'm really happy about it. This is going to be turned into the Haverfordwest hub, a community centre. It's ongoing work going on here. Wonderful to see. And the Haverfordwest hub is currently being built by Carl Griffiths, the building and groundwork. It's of a grant issue. Yet again, another Haverfordwest Landscape Lottery funding. This is going to be a community centre. As far as I understand, it's going to be various events are ongoing. They're doing a fantastic job of trying to kit it all out now and get it up to standard, but a beautiful building, and there's not much stonework that you're going to get like that. This kind of stonework is just wonderful to see, and we need to preserve buildings like this, and it's good to see, so I'm very happy with that. Cafe Rio, small nightclub above. Vaughan's Radio, still going. Vaughan's has held its name, held its brand. Usually you always find a good brand always holds itself. Coming down now to the job centre, and and the reason why I'm taking you this way is because how many people know about this? And I'll tell you the reason why, right? If you don't walk, or if you don't get out and about in Haverfordwest, how would you know these things actually exist? And I will say, I think it's quite poorly signposted to the Priory. I would like to see more signs in the town guiding people to where the Priory is, because it's the type of thing that's put at the end here. That's where it is, that's where it is, it's wonderful. But let's get more signs out there so people actually understand where it is. Vaughan's again. So right, old Mind had to shut there. The running costs, that was a council issue with the costs, the running of that building, so that's shut. Mind is up now by Winch Lane. Up from the NFU building. And if I remember correctly, reflect on history, as I've delved a little bit about it, we've got a sign here, so we need to have a look at our little history signs again, because I really do enjoy them. The old key, text copied from the plaque, to be seen in the right hand corner of this building, formerly the Wool Market. This key was rebuilt at the expense of the corporation in the morality of W.M. Moore, Esquire, August 1777. Well. To think it's that old, it's just incredible. It's that old. It's got to be preserved, doesn't it? You know, it offers its history in itself. All this is history. You know, we don't want to get rid of it, we want to keep it, and we must preserve our history. We've got wonderful history in this town, and people don't realise how much I mean, we're designated with places. We've got a beautiful river here. I mean, I've always pushed, why on earth are the council not doing history tours? I mean, in Tenby, they do history tours 2 hours in the summer, and I can bet you that they're packed full of tourists and locals and people, as anybody that's interested. £17. Well, we're talking about